sight, yet hidden from the world. This is the story of the island itself, the map, the layout, and the physical stage for one of the most infamous crimes of the 21st century. Little St. James is a 70-acre, or roughly 28-hectare, private island located in the U.S. Virgin Islands, just off the coast of St. Thomas. It's one of two islands owned by Jeffrey Epstein in the area, the other being the larger, undeveloped Great St. James. In 1998, Epstein purchased Little St. James for a reported $7.95 million. To the outside world, it was the ultimate billionaire's playground, but the renovations and construction that followed hinted at a different purpose. The main compound was a sprawling network of buildings. The centerpiece was a large, pinkish-beige main residence, nicknamed the Temple, or the Clubhouse by staff. It featured a distinctive blue dome, but other structures raised eyebrows. There was a smaller, windowless building wrapped in brown roofing material, which workers called the music room, or, more darkly, the rape room. A separate two-story guest house accommodated visitors, and on the highest point of the island stood a curious water tower with observation windows, a perfect vantage point to see anyone approaching. Epstein didn't just build a home, he built a panopticon. Security was omnipresent and extreme. The island was ringed with cameras, over 50 of them according to some reports, monitoring every dock, beach, and pathway. A private security team, often armed, controlled all movement. Guests and workers arrived via Epstein's private planes to St. Thomas, then were ferried to the island on his helicopters or boats, like the one infamously named the Lady Ghislaine. Once there, they were monitored constantly. This isolation was the point. For the powerful and famous who visited, names from politics, academia, and royalty, it was a discreet getaway. For the young women and girls allegedly trafficked there, it was a prison from which there was no easy escape. Surrounded by ocean, watched by cameras, and controlled by Epstein's rules, the island was the perfect setting to conceal alleged crimes. The map of Little St. James is not just a layout of buildings, it's a blueprint of alleged predation. Witnesses and victims have described activities tied to specific locations. The main house was where guests were entertained. The guest house is where some victims say they were housed or exploited. The mysterious windowless music room is described in court documents as a site of sexual abuse. Even the beaches and pools were not just for leisure. Victims have recounted being pressured into massages and sexual acts in these secluded outdoor areas. Every cove, every path, was part of an environment meticulously designed to service the desires of Jeffrey Epstein and his guests, while ensuring the compliance and silence of the victims. With Epstein's arrest in July 2019 and his death in a New York jail cell that August, the island's grim chapter seemed to close. But the secrets did not die with him. The property became a cursed asset. After Epstein's death, control fell to his estate. In 2022, the U.S. Virgin Islands government reached a historic $105 million settlement with the estate, ending a lawsuit that alleged the territory's officials had enabled Epstein's trafficking network. Part of the deal? The demolition of the island's structures. In late 2022 and into 2023, bulldozers arrived. The Pink Mansion, the guest house, the infamous windowless building, all were razed to the ground. Today, Little St. James is largely a blank slate, its physical reminders erased. But the island's legacy is indelible. It remains a powerful geographic symbol, a real-world location that has become shorthand for the abuse of power, wealth, and privilege. It is a reminder that true isolation isn't always remote. Sometimes, it's constructed by those with the means to hide in paradise. Little St. James is more than an island. It is a crime scene without borders, a monument to impunity that was finally challenged. The map is not just a guide to a place, but a key to understanding a system. How wealth can buy silence, how isolation can enable abuse, and how a tropical island can become the darkest place on Earth. The buildings may be gone, but the questions remain. Who walked those now vanished halls? And what truths did they bury in the sand? What did you find most shocking about the story of Epstein's Island? Let us know in the comments below.